the first book came out, The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck. And that book is really focused on getting to know in your own mind, really understanding that it's okay to not want to do things, to not give a fuck about things, and to not give your fucks in the form of your time, energy, and money to things that don't make you happy. And, over the years, as I've written the other No Fucks Given guides, people keep writing to me and saying, some version of, I read your first book, I get it, I'm on board, I understand that it's okay not to give a fuck, but how do I say no to things? And so I realized that people were really looking for, the literal words to be put in their mouths. So that is how Fuck No was born.
Okay, and I know you you divide people up into different categories, don't you? What categories are there, and what would I be?
So there are four major categories of yes men, and you have the people pleasers, the overachievers, the FOMOers, people who have fear of missing out, and just the pushovers. And so I don't know exactly which category you would fall in, but there is a quiz in the book called the Why Do I Say Yes All the Goddamn Time quiz. And that should help readers. That's a diagnostic tool for readers so that they can figure out why it is that they are saying yes when they really want to say no. And then the rest of the book explains how they can walk that back and go from yes, ma'am to no, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean that's quite interesting. Just listening to your categories there. Well, I mean, without blowing my own trumpet, probably a bit of an overachiever, probably a little bit of a people pleaser. In that, I've always been quite kind of good at oiling the wheels of social interaction. Yeah, I probably don't like kind of putting people's hackles up that much. But you strike me as someone who genuinely walks the walk. You don't really care what people think of you. Is that fair to say?
That is entirely fair to say. I think that I used to care more, and it was probably still had its roots in me being an overachiever and really caring about what I did and what I accomplished and how I was seen through the lens of being an ambitious, successful person. So even back in the day, I don't think I cared quite so much what other people thought of me. It was just an extension of what I thought of me. And now I am cutting myself a lot more slack. So it's good all around.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, it's easier said than done though, isn't it? The thought that people kind of get a bad impression of you or don't think you've done a good job or, somehow come away with a negative point of view about you. I think we're quite hardwired because of our tribal background to not really like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun to sit around and think about the people who don't like you, but I like to try to put it in perspective, which is that, there are probably at any given time, 10 or 20 people in the world who don't like me and I don't even know them. They don't like me because they heard me on a podcast and they didn't like what I had to say, or they don't like me because they don't like curse words and they know me as that woman who writes books with fuck in the title. I mean, I'm sure there's people that you don't like, and do you really want them to be concerned about it? Probably not. We can just go about our separate ways, disliking each other.